Good morning, everyone. So, real quick foot update, in case you didn't see the Brad tries KFC double down thing. On my way to get the double down yesterday, I completely rolled my ankle and was just totally off my ass yesterday. I was hobbling around like like an idiot. I kept this thing iced all night. Took some ibuprofen, all of that stuff. It was swollen last night. It was swollen all throughout the night. I woke up this morning and walking around, I can walk just fine without a limp or anything like that. Luckily, it feels a lot better yesterday because there was a point yesterday when I wasn't sure if it was merely just a sprain or if there's some tiny little bone in there that ended up breaking. Because when when I rolled it, I did hear the sound of like this pop, which I don't hear often whenever I sprain my ankle, and also like there were just it started hurting up here too and throughout here, and it just hurt. And towards the end of the night, my head was killing me. I was slightly a bit nauseous. I mean, this thing was painful, and the only other time from a foot injury that I was nauseous or my head was feeling a little hot was when I broke my other foot. This morning, though, it's fine. I mean, it's best not to move it around a lot, but I can. I'm walking fine. It's not really discolored or anything like that, which is kind of a crapshoot for me anyway. The worst sprain that I ever had, which in terms of pain, this was among them, but the worst sprain I ever had when I was on crutches for it didn't get like black or blue or anything like that, but then there was one years after that where I did, and it probably wasn't the worst sprain that I had, but it did get all black and blue down there. This one's fine. The swelling's gone down. It's not discolored or anything like that. I can move the toes fine. I can move the foot around more than I could yesterday, and I'm walking okay. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on the damn thing. But right now, I mean, it got better. It got a lot better when I woke up. So that's good. It turns out the Double Down has magic foot healing powers. It's terrible for your heart, but for your foot, it's fantastic. So anyway, let's talk 24. Because 24 is back. 24 Live Another Day, I believe is what it was called. And when 24 was on television, for I would say the first 5 years, me and a couple of my friends were 24 geeks. We'd get together, watch 24, talk 24. It was our show, for about 5 years there. Give or take a lot of stupid shit that happened in there. There's a lot. We were totally on 24's side. It was, we really dug the thing, found it hugely entertaining, suspenseful. We liked seeing where it went. Then the more the show went on, it got to the point where I was watching 24 out of pure obligation. And that's sort of what it feels like I'm doing here. But here's the thing, though. Even though when it got into the 8th and last season, I was ready for the damn thing to be done. I was like, okay, you are clearly not going to take any risks with this show. You are clearly just dead set on your ways. If there was a season 9, I could visualize it in my head without even watching it. There are just no new directions this show is going to go in. But, okay, with that being said, though, I am not against the idea of there being a follow-up to the 8th season. I was not against the idea of there being a movie, especially when Tony Scott was involved before he had died. I'm not even against the idea of there being a 24 miniseries like this 12-part thing, which doing it in 12 parts, yeah, I like that idea, because that can cut down on a lot of the bullshit subplots that really plagued that goddamn show. And I get it, that there does have to be subplots, because the way that show is structured with its real-time setup, yeah, it makes sense that you would need something else to cut away to while Jack or whoever else is maybe off to another location. I get that, and some of the subplots worked. A lot of the David Palmer subplots worked in season 1 with his son and that whole cover-up thing. That worked because it was still entertaining. When it cut away to that subplot, I was fine with that because I wanted to see where it went. It was an intriguing enough subplot. But when you got into like season 8 and Katie Sackhoff with her redneck abusive boyfriend, and then one of the other seasons when the head of CTU had this, I think, like bipolar daughter who was suicidal, when you got into that, oh my god, fucking enough. So maybe doing it in 12 parts will slightly cut down on that. I don't know. Of course I'm going to keep watching this damn thing. I'm not against there being more 24, at least a miniseries or even a movie, some kind of wrap-up, because season 8, the finale of it, wasn't intended to be a series finale, it just was. The finale of season 8, it was a season finale. In fact, it was a season finale I'd seen before. It ends with Jack going into hiding. He's now a fugitive, he's off the grid, blah blah blah. I've seen that ending before. I believe that was the ending of season 5. I think it was season 5 that had the kind of Incredible Hulk TV series ending with Jack and the Jack Sack walking along the street into the sunset and everything. I think that was the end of season 5. I don't go back and rewatch 24, so yeah, I was big into 24, and I remember enough of the shit that happened, but I haven't seen them since they aired. If you were to ask me some specific questions about 24, maybe 5 or more years ago, I'd probably be able to answer them a little better than now. But now that we have this miniseries, now that there was the prospect of the movie, with that I was cool with, so it would at least have a proper ending. A proper ending that wasn't, that they could write towards, that they could see coming, knowing that it would have an ending. Okay. This thing is called 24 Live Another Day. Really? The title of it should honestly be 24 Same Shit Different Day. That's it. It's the same shit. Okay, 24 had its time and its place. And that time and place was early 2000s, post 9/11. That was 24's time and place. If you're not going to do anything new or innovative with it, why bother unless you do want to give it a wrap-up? Because this seriously is the same shit. It reminds me of everything that I got bored with on 24. I had always hoped that there would maybe be some season that was maybe a more personal story, maybe a personal vigilante story or something. Maybe Jack is, in this case, maybe he's after like a serial killer. Maybe he's just out for personal revenge. Or something to get away from CTU. Something to get away from a threat on the president. Something to get away with missile strikes. Because that's all this is. William Devane is returned as Heller, and he's president now. That I'm cool with. I mean, 24 got into the bad habit of taking, like, popular characters, or at least pre-existing characters, and just making them president of the United States because they were a recognizable character. Like when David Palmer's brother was president. And David Palmer's brother was a good character when he was on the show. As president, no. And then they had Powers Booth as president on there, which... okay, yeah, because he took over for the younger Palmer, yeah. But he was like stereotypical 80s movie villain, like, president. Now, the Charles Logan president, speaking of villainous president, was amazing. That is still one of my favorite villains on television. The Charles Logan president character was great. Because it was, you could buy that this guy would probably be elected into office. He wasn't like, okay, yeah, he got pretty insane later on as it went along, but he still had the aura of a guy who would be elected president, even though behind the curtains he was freaking Charles Logan. Unlike when Powers Booth was president, at one glance, you know he's probably not up to any good. I've seen Sudden Death. You kidnap the vice president. You would make a terrible president. So anyway, but William Devane, I'm cool with the William Devane character Heller being cast as president because he looks and acts very presidential on the show. I'm cool with that. Kim Raver is back as his daughter. Anyway, there's a threat against the president in London. Jack is back and trying to save the president. There's people taking over drones and just blowing up shit. So now, like, terrorists are trying to hack into drone software to just blow shit up, I guess. And same shit with CTU. I don't think it's called CTU. It's like CTU London Division on here. It takes place in London. I don't think it's called. I don't even know if they mentioned CTU on here. I think it might have been called something else. But it's CTU. It looks like CTU. It looks exactly like CTU. It looks like it, acts like it, is ran the same way. It's fucking CTU, no matter what you fucking call the thing. With completely interchangeable and really stupid characters involved with it. Benjamin Bratt is head of CTU on here. But he could be completely interchangeable with any of the other fucking characters that have ever fucking ran CTU. The only difference is this time we're given these new characters and have absolutely no build-up towards them, other than the fact that I recognize him because he's Benjamin Bratt. There's the black agent who could easily be interchanged with, like, when Rick Schroeder was on there, or hell, even like the first season of Tony Almeida in the first season. There's Hannah McCabe from Dexter is like the main field agent on here. Okay, I buy her as a flower poisoner serial killer on Dexter as this field agent, and she looks and acts just like Hannah McCabe. She's walking around in, like, mostly wearing a cardigan. She's walking around like it's like she's on her way to the audition of Mom's Night Out on here. She looks and acts just like Hannah McCabe on here, but then suddenly I'm supposed to buy her as this field agent. I'm sorry, I just really freaking don't. I apologize for that. I so don't. And I don't think she's a bad actress. I really liked her on Dexter. But man, this is slightly miscast. So they're doing stupid shit on here. Jack, at the beginning of it, he's in London, he's on the run, it's 4 years later, he is still a fugitive, and not CTU ends up catching him. They catch him, they got him in the interrogation room. The first 45 minutes of this is just Jack giving tough guy face. He doesn't speak a word of dialogue in this, until, I'm not even joking, until like 46 minutes into the goddamn thing. So he's just sitting there in the interrogation room. They have shit hooked up to him. They want to know what he's up to, if there's any attacks on the president or anything like that. They want to know what the fuck Jack's deal is. And Hannah McCabe actually starts putting it together. She realizes that Jack made it very easy for them to catch him when he easily could have escaped because he's Jack Bauer. So she's putting this together. She even says to Benjamin Bratt, like, look, he's up to something. He wanted to be caught. There are several ways he could have escaped here, but didn't. And also, when she brings it up to Jack Bauer, they have like shit hooked up to him so they could like measure his like line readings and shit. And when she asks him about that, the lines start going off the chart. So she said, look, we need to interrogate this guy even more. Do you see what the charts just fucking did? I am onto something here. So as much as she's kind of miscast, this is a fairly competent character in that at least in this part, the character was, okay, she's not 100% competent because she gets really stupid later, but in this part, she's actually competent. The only fucking one there. And people are saying like, oh, you're just going to be retired in a few days, you get out of here. And so yeah, she brings this up to Benjamin Bratt. She's like, look, we need to look at the line readings and everything. And Benjamin Bratt's like, oh, are you just saying this because of what happened to your ex-husband? Apparently she had an ex-husband who turned out to be a traitor on the show. So they're like, look, you're out of here in a few days, okay? Just go hang out in the other room. Let us handle this. We know you're just doing this because your husband. Da, da, da. Other than the fact that she is clearly right and has evidence that she's right. I should have been able to tell from the previews of this goddamn thing that CTU is very stupid this time around. The fucking previews of this thing, which are like Jack and Chloe, I'll get to her ass in a second, Jack and Chloe are walking around fucking London and there's like nuclear bombs going off in the background. So from the previews of this thing, which I think this was just like for like a teaser image, but anyway, it's like, wow, they are really failing their job here. There's explosions going off all over the place. They're doing a horrible job stopping this shit. Oh my god, how many more times is London gonna get fucking destroyed? So, anyway, yeah, it turns out that Jack wanted to get caught so he could get transported to the enhanced interrogation unit where Chloe O'Brien is being held. Chloe O'Brien is now working for basically a WikiLeaks. She's working for WikiLeaks. It's not called WikiLeaks, but it's WikiLeaks. She's working for WikiLeaks. She gets caught. She's going through enhanced interrogation to find out what she knows because she's leaked a bunch of confidential shit. So Jack is there to, he rescues her, and Chloe O'Brien is now Lisbeth Salander. I'm not joking. They turned her into the girl with the dragon tattoo. Looks just like her, same makeup, same haircut, same clothes, tattoos out the fucking ass. They wanted this to look like the girl with the dragon tattoo, because sure, why not? Chloe O'Brien is great with computers, she's a great hacker, always has been since the beginning of the show, so why not just fucking turn her into Lisbeth Salander? That's what they did here. If we get halfway through this show and Chloe O'Brien sticks a dildo up a terrorist's ass or has a lesbian love sequence, it won't feel out of place given how they made this character look and act. They've turned her into the girl with the dragon tattoo. What? Of course, it's not the first time they've really changed this goddamn character, because the first season Chloe O'Brien was on the show, she was easily the worst fucking part of it. She's going around like this pouty-faced fucking obnoxious brat tattletale throughout that most of that season. It wasn't until later they actually started making her likable, and they did. They did a 180 on that character. That character did get a lot more likable. You can see why that's a fan favorite character. You can see why they started keeping her around, because they did start writing her better. And she does have good chemistry with Jack. She has really good chemistry with Jack. You buy that sort of mutual respect that these two characters have for each other. You do. You totally do. So it's understandable that if you're going to bring back only a handful of characters of 24, why one of them would be Chloe O'Brien. But this girl with the dragon tattoo stuff is pretty funny. It is. So he rescues her only so he can track her to where all the WikiLeaks people are. Because he is now searching for an ex-member of this WikiLeaks group who is now working for a group of terrorists who are taking over drones and just randomly firing them. And it's probably going to lead to where it's going to be an attack on the president, who is in London there as part of some kind of treaty deal that he has to sign. In terms of the whole thing is about drones. It is. Whereas like one of the other seasons was about torture, this one is heavily about drones. And so he's there in London as part of some like drone agreement or something like that. I don't know. It's really bad when you're watching 24 and this 2 hours feels longer for the viewer than it does for the people involved in the show. the greatest parts about early 24 is that whenever the clock would come on screen before the commercial break, you would get upset that it was closer to the end of the hour. You're like, oh fuck, there's only 12 minutes left in this? God damn it, fuck. I'm gonna have to wait until next week. Shit. And now, oh man, when the clock would pop up before the commercials, it would be like, fuck, I still got like 50 minutes of this shit left. This is gonna be hard to fucking... But here's the thing, though. As much as I am complaining about this, and I know I'm complaining a lot, because there's a lot to fucking complain about, because it really just is same shit, different day. As much as I'm complaining about this, it's still 24. Even in its worst seasons, there would be some kind of plot turn that would pop up that would make it pretty entertaining, that would at least give you something to be invested in. Case in point, as shitty as the first half of Season 8 was, with all the Katie Sackhoff stuff, all of that shit, as stupid as that was, and all the shit with the president's daughter on there, which was obnoxious, as dumb fuck as that was, the second Charles Logan pops up in there to be evil ex-president Charles Logan, and then Jack Bauer dons a suit of armor to personally take down evil presidential motorcade. Suddenly then, it got entertaining, and I wanted to see more of it. And that is probably what's gonna fucking happen here. We're gonna get 6 episodes into this. Something's gonna happen that makes me be like, fuck. Alright, fucking jack me up again, man. Go ahead, do it. So, that's largely my feelings here. And... man, we get into some people doing stupid shit on here. When Jack is going through the housing department towards the end, in the climax, to find the people who are taking over these drones, the young dude and his girlfriend, they end up escaping, and Jack is chasing after them. He's chasing after this young couple, the people he's looking for, or at least the dude anyway. The dude he was looking for, who was involved with the WikiLeaks group. So Jack is chasing after them. All of a sudden, CTU shows up to fuck shit up. I'm not even kidding, fucking field agent Hannah McCabe runs into the young couple, clearly on the run from something, carrying a metal briefcase. She runs into them, it's like, have you seen this guy? And it's Jack Bauer's like, yeah, he's like up there doing stuff. So then they run, it's like, thank you, citizen. They run off, and then they see Jack, and Jack's like, no, you cannot fucking let those, chase them! That couple right there, chase them! You cannot let them get away, seriously! And they don't listen to Jack. They never fucking listen to Jack. No one ever listens to... I don't care if Jack is a fugitive. You fucking listen to Jack Bauer. If Jack is chasing after someone who looks suspicious carrying a metal briefcase in this housing department where there's some terrorist shit going on, you fucking listen to Jack Bauer. At the end of the day, he is a fugitive now, but he's still... How many times this guy fucking saved the planet? You fucking listen to Jack Bauer, dumb shit. And then all of this has to do with Lady Stark. Lady Stark is kind of the big bad for the first half of the season. I'm sure there's going to be another big bad come second half of the season, but yeah, all of this is being orchestrated by Lady Stark, who's fucking pissed off about how things turned out at that goddamn wedding. She's fucking immortal now, and she's gonna have America's fucking head. Lady Stark is pissed. That casting I'm interested in. That's another thing, too. 24 keeps me coming back for more because of its casting. You got Lady Stark here as the villain. Of course, you got Kiefer Sutherland. And then Michael Wincott. Michael Wincott pops up as the head of WikiLeaks. Which, if it's going to turn out to be a twist that Michael Wincott is in on this whole terrorist thing, I love Michael Wincott. Michael Wincott, to me, is for the past 20 years has been one of the most underrated actors that you could find. The more Michael Wincott gets work, the happier I am. I love it when he turns up and stuff. He should be in more shit. He should just be in everything. Like, if you're gonna watch Alien Resurrection, you just watch it for the first 20 minutes until, spoiler alert, Michael Wincott dies, which is the worst part of that. That movie sucks. Killing off Michael Wincott about 20 minutes in is that movie's biggest goddamn mistake. So, anyway, Michael Wincott pops up as the head of WikiLeaks. And if it's going to turn out that he's, like, in with the terrorists, that's going to be very obvious because it's Michael Wincott playing him. That's like if this character is played by, like, Sean Bean. You can't be shocked when halfway through he's going to turn out to be, like, evil. And yeah, he's acting, like, kind of sinister on here, but yeah, he's played by Michael Wincott, so of course he's acting kind of sinister. It will be a more shocking twist if he doesn't turn out to be with the terrorist group. If he doesn't turn out to be with them. That will be a bigger twist. If Michael Wincott is not, like, pure evil on this show. So, yeah, of course I'm going to be back next week talking about it. Fuck, if this vlog goes over well, I'll continue to do Rambling 24 vlogs. I was planning on doing this as another podcast, but From Dusk Till Dawn, the series is still going on, so I'm like, okay, fuck it. I'll just set up the camera. I'll fucking ramble about it for myself for a while. I watched all 8 years of 24. I can fucking do this shit. I can talk some 24. And here's another thing. Here's another reason why you just keep coming back for more on this goddamn thing, even though they've done nothing new, nothing innovative, nothing to really reboot this. This is not a reboot. It's a reboot only because it's 4 years after the last new episode. It's the only thing that makes this a reboot. It's the same show. It's the same shit. The fact that this is just called a miniseries is preposterous. It's just another standard season of 24. Unless something completely drastic happens in the next few episodes, this is the same shit. It's the same. And if that's what you want, out of it, if you don't want this show, if you are dead set on this following the same formula to the core, to where all the same villains are there, the same stakes, the same plot points. You know someone's going to turn out to be a mole. You know someone is going to betray them. You just know it's going to happen. If that's all you want, if you've been totally cool with that for 8 years, then yeah, you will probably find no faults in this. You probably won't. Really stupid shit has happened. We're only 2 episodes in, so of course nothing really to the extent of Jack's wife having amnesia or Kim Bauer and the fucking cougar, any of that. Nothing. I mean, we're only 2 episodes in, so the only thing like that is, and this is why Ed Glazer quit watching the show. By all accounts, he's right. He quit watching the show. He has a code. He has a rule. As soon as a show introduces an amnesia subplot, he's out. He's done. He is done with the show. And I'd be lying if I said I haven't sort of adopted that. Because it sort of makes sense. You're right. Yeah. As soon as a show adopts a amnesia plotline, it's kind of done. And yeah, 24 did that in the first season. Even though I'll say, yeah, I was still with 24 in, like, up until, like, season 6. Season 6 sucked. So, like, seasons 1 through 5, especially season 5. Season 5, easily, I thought was the best season. So, anyway. Oh, wait, maybe it was season 4. Season 5 ended with Jack getting kidnapped by the Chinese, didn't it? Where he was on the boat at the end of it. Yeah, I think that was how that... Yeah, because at the beginning of season 6, weren't they were going to sell off Jack to this terrorist group, and then they were torturing him. He got away, and then Valencia, California got written out of the show. Alright, sorry for that tangent. Anyway, where the fuck was I? Fucking damn it. Okay, yeah, so really, so like, yeah, there's been stupid shit that's happened on here, but nothing to like amnesia plotline and stuff like that. But I know what it means, and I remember when I watched like the first few episodes of Terra Nova, and then episode 3 of Terra Nova, amnesia poison flower gas or something like, oh, done. Sorry, Stephen Lang, and then and this one I texted Ed. I was like, dude, 5 minutes in, and the president might have amnesia. Oh yeah, that seems to be a they're going with here. President Heller might, or not amnesia. Sorry, Alzheimer's. President Heller might have Alzheimer's. Ed writes back, well, that was fucking fast. Yeah, so that seems to be the subplot they're going with here. That President Heller might have like dementia or Alzheimer's or something. I'm fine. I honestly, like, in terms of 24 subplots, that's not a bad one. That seems honestly like something that could happen. I know that there was talk that Reagan might have had Alzheimer's in his last couple of years. But anyway, okay, that's fine. If they're gonna go with that, okay, fine. That's way better than some of the subplots they did the last few seasons. So I'm like, okay. But yeah, if amnesia gets put in here somewhere along the way, like Chloe O'Brien hits her head and thinks she is Lisbeth Salander now, done. I don't think, no, I'll still probably have to vlog on it. But if there is one thing that, at least for me anyway, keeps me somewhat interested, keeps me, I guess, wanting to see where it goes, I don't know. That is that Jack Bauer is a great character. Kiefer Sutherland is fucking cool. He goes the first 45 minutes of this without saying a word, and he's intimidating as shit. When he says lines, and when he has a hostage, and there's a couple guys pointing their guns at him, and he says, I know you think you have me at a disadvantage. You don't. When he says shit like that, and that gruff Kiefer Sutherland voice, with that I am going to fucking kill you look in his eyes, it's great. He is great on this show. Jack Bauer is a fantastic character. He has the vulnerability of a John McClane. He gets hurt. He gets injured. In the first season of the show, he was falling asleep at one point. He has that characteristic of Jack Bauer. He also has the vigilanteism of a Charles Bronson. He will fucking kill you. If you, like Nina, when Nina got it in season 3, I think. When Nina said, like, I've still got information for you, Jack. And Jack's like, no, you don't. And he, like, unloaded his gun in her chest. When he just blasted Katie Sackhoff in season 8. He will fucking murder your ass. Like, he has the qualities of, like, Charles Bronson Vigilante and the Punisher. So there's that. And then there's the expertise of, like, a Jason Bourne character. So he's all three of these really good qualities of action heroes rolled into one guy. One guy who is very badass, who's incredibly competent, who's, at the end of the day, cool. Like, you root for this guy. You root for Jack. And when Jack does something cool, you are totally on his side. When he screams, I do like this, that he screamed, damn it, at the end of the episode, which is kind of his catchphrase. He screams, damn it, at the end. I think that was the last line in the episode. Or at least his last line. No, he screamed, damn it, before it did, like, when you know the episode's about to end, when it does the slow picture-in-picture thing. That was when he screamed, damn it. That was a nice touch. I liked that. Or when he just grabbed Hannah McCabe and said, you are getting in my way! He seemed so frustrated. It was amazing. And then she goes to hit him, and he's like, you really shouldn't have done that. And headbutts her and knocks her out. Like, moments like that make it entertaining enough. Make it to where at least something cool is happening. Because Jack Bauer is a character that deserves a lot better than this show has given him, to be perfectly honest. He really does. Like, if you were to take Jack Bauer and put him in like a Walking Tall type story, or Straw Dogs, or something, maybe even like the last Rambo movie or something like that. God damn. One, that would fit. That character would work great in something like that. Because, okay, we already know Jack Bauer works good in these kinds of storylines, like 24, because we've seen it for 8 goddamn years. But this character is, the way they've written this character, the vulnerability they've given to him. Yes, they give him this Jason Bourne type knowledge of fighting and gunplay and stuff, but they've still made him a guy. They've still made him a dude, especially in the earlier seasons. Like, you could take him and put him in a much more personal story, which would work so well, which is really what they should have done. I want to see Jack Bauer put in something like that, because this is a good character. He's kind of this 70s and 80s action hero, but put in like a modern technological, the Bourne Identity type storyline. I'm fine with that, but I've seen that for a decade. So I would love to see something new. I'm totally repeating myself at this point. You get the point. You get what I'm trying to say. That okay, I appreciate that 24 is back. I appreciate that maybe it will have a wrap-up at the end of this that's a lot more satisfying than the one at the end of Season 8. Okay, because of that, I'm all for it. But I'm being reminded of why this show annoyed me to begin with in the last few seasons. At the end of the day, it's nice seeing Jack Bauer back on television. At the end of the day, TV with Jack, I guess, is better than TV without Jack. I guess. Even if you're not going to do anything new with it, there is still Jack Bauer finding newer ways to fuck people up. There's another thing, too. It was weird that the first person being tortured in these episodes was Chloe and not Jack. Or Jack torturing somebody else. Motherfucker cut off a guy's thumb with a fucking cigar clipper in one season. God damn it. Anyway, so that's my thoughts on the first couple hours of 24. We'll see where it goes from here. If it fucking goes anywhere. I'll be back watching it next week. I said it in seasons 6, 7, and 8. I'll be back next week, because I am a fucking idiot. See ya.